Bienvenidos! Today we're going to talk about stressed possessive adjectives in Spanish. Stressed possessive adjectives are very similar to the unstressed possessive adjectives, but these adjectives have a couple of different qualities about them. Stressed possessive adjectives emphasize ownership. They also come after the noun they're modifying, whereas unstressed possessive adjectives come before the noun. Stressed possessive adjectives come after the noun. They use the article before the noun. So whatever article goes with the noun, the article is placed before the noun, and the stressed possessive adjective is placed after the noun. And the stressed possessive adjectives agree in gender and number with the noun that they're describing. So let's look at unstressed possessive adjectives. Mi, tú, su, and nuestro, nuestra. Now, correspondingly, we have stressed possessive adjectives, and we know we're going to have different forms because they have to agree in gender and number with the noun that they're modifying. So if we wanted to talk about something that belongs to me, that's mine, in Spanish we would have to use the stressed possessive adjective mía, mías, mío, or míos if we want to emphasize ownership. For the to form, tuya, tuyas, tuyo, tuyos. The su forms, suya, suyas, suyo, suyos. Alright, the nuestra form, nuestra, nuestras, nuestro, nuestros. Now notice that these forms are very similar to, in fact identical to, the unstressed possessive adjectives. Depending on their placement in the sentence, they'll be stressed or unstressed. If they come before the noun, then they're unstressed possessive adjectives. And if they come after the noun, then they're stressed possessive adjectives for the nuestra, nuestro form. So let's look at some examples. Let's look at unstressed possessive adjectives. It's my street. Es mi calle. This is the unstressed possessive adjective. It's my street. It comes before the noun. The stressed possessive adjective is going to come after the noun. And it's going to agree in gender and number with the noun. So we have to know the noun we're modifying, and that's calle. Calle is feminine, and this is singular. So we will need the feminine singular form of my for the stressed possessive adjective. Let's see, that would be mía. So mía is going to come after calle, and we will need to use the article, either the indefinite or definite article, before calle. So the definite article for calle is la, and we can say it's my street, emphasizing mine. Es la calle mía. Es la calle mía. It's my street. Son tus carros. They're your cars. And we want to emphasize that they belong to you. So we're going to use the stressed possessive adjective. And we're going to be talking about carros. So we're going to need the masculine plural form, the to form of the stressed possessive adjective. That would be tuyos. The article could be unos or los. Let's use unos. Son unos carros tuyos. Son unos carros tuyos means they are some of your cars. If we used los, we could say they are the cars that belong to you. But unos implies that some of your cars, just like unos can mean some as a when we're not talking about possession. Son unos carros tuyos, or we could say son los carros tuyos. Necesito su libro. Now, with the unstressed possessive adjective su, in Spanish, many times we will express that idea of possession in a different way, because su can mean his, her, their, or your formal. Because it has so many different meanings, to be more specific, in Spanish sometimes, many times we would say the name of the person or entity that the thing belongs to. In this case we could say, necesito el libro de María. Necesito el libro de María is much more specific than necesito su libro. But if we're in a conversation and we've been talking about Maria's book, then we would not need to use this specific sentence, and we could say necesito su libro. So just be aware that many times in Spanish, to express possession, instead of using su, we'll use de to talk about who something belongs to. Now, if we wanted to emphasize and use the stressed possessive adjective, we're talking about libro. So for the su form, we're going to need the masculine singular form to talk about a stressed possessive, use a stressed possessive adjective to talk about Maria's book. So the masculine singular, suyo. And the article would be el. Necesito el libro suyo. Now we could put un libro, and then that would mean we need one of your books. This means I need the specific book, a specific book that's yours. Or hers. If we put un libro, it would mean one of a book of yours. Okay. Vimos a nuestras hijas. We saw our daughters, and if we want to use the stressed possessive adjective, we're going to use the stressed possessive adjective that matches the gender and number of hijas. And we know that with nuestro and nuestra, the stressed possessive adjective is the same as the unstressed possessive adjective, but it just changes position in the sentence. So we'll just use nuestras, and we'll put it after hijas. And we need to use an article. We can use unas or las. Vimos a las hijas nuestras. Now, this means we saw our daughters. If we used unas hijas nuestras, it would mean we saw some of our daughters. So we could say we saw some of our daughters, vimos a unas hijas nuestras, or we can say we saw our daughters, vimos a las hijas nuestras.